Richard D Wolff is Professor of Economics Emeritus at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. His educational background includes a BA in History from Harvard College, a MA in Economics from Stanford University, a MA in History as well as a PhD in Economics from Yale. He is a co-founder and contributor of Democracy at Work, a non-profit organization that promotes democratic workplaces as a key part of a transition to a better economic system. The New York Times Magazine has named him America's most prominent Marxist economist.
Well, to answer the last part first, I cannot see how Europeans could proceed without undoing the last 30 years of regime. It's the same here in the United States. We have adjusted here in the United States our institutions, our laws, our political parties to serve a capitalism that is internationalized, globalized, that is presiding over growing inequality on a scale that we have not seen for a century. All the institutions have adjusted to that, which means if you're going to break that pattern, you have to rethink and reorganize all of the institutions. My belief is that this is very much up in the air, whether this will take a leftist form or whether it will take a rightist form. I don't believe the rightists have a solution. They really want to solve the problems of capitalism by all kinds of cultural, social, governmental manipulation. But the problem isn't the social, the cultural, and the governmental. The problem is the economic, and they have no solution for that. They want to do more of the same. You can see that here in the United States very clearly. So ironically, I think the left wing, if it could come up with a coherent plan, has as equal a chance, if not a better chance, to show a way out than the right wing. The problem for us has been, here in the United States, and I suspect it's not so different in Europe, that the left wing has been unable or unwilling to break from its own traditions and chart a new path. The biggest critique I have of the Social Democratic Party and even of the Linke Party is you have to come up with a plan. This is how you, as a left-winger, are going to solve these problems. You can't always be reacting to the latest difficulty. You have to teach people that the problem isn't neoliberalism. That's just one kind of capitalism. The problem is capitalism, whether it's the neoliberal kind or the old social democratic kind or the Keynesian kind. These are past, dead. We're not going to solve that. And I think the way to go is what I said before about worker co-ops, about this whole new organization of the workplace, which no right-winger says a word about, no right-winger endorses, no right-winger would dare offend their funding sources. You've got to do that. And here, I would give you two examples of people doing it. And they're surprising because they don't come from social democracy in Europe, where you would have expected it. They come from the United States and Britain, which you would not have expected for all the right reasons. So first, Mr. Corbyn in Britain. If you look at the program of Mr. Corbyn, it is in one respect very radical. He is saying that he is committed, as with his Chancellor of the Exchequer, I believe that's the guy, John McDonnell, he has said that if they come to power, they will pass a law which says that every enterprise in England, if it can stay the way it is, but if it plans to close, or if it plans to sell itself to another, or if it plans to go public by issuing stocks, it cannot do that without first offering to its own employees the opportunity to buy the enterprise and run it as a co-op. And when the question was asked, well, where would the workers get the money? Mr. Corbyn smiled and said, the government will lend it to them. That is extraordinary. That is charting a way forward. It's saying we as a political party are committed to build a co-op sector of this economy that is large, that will have lots of support, lots of people. Whoa. The second one is Bernie Sanders. He didn't go as far as Corbyn, not at all. But he did have in his program, if you looked at it, his economic program, co-ops. He was willing to begin, very cautious, not much specifics, but the beginning. And I think that's where they'll figure out, and of course we're trying to push them, but they'll figure out that this is the way to become unique and to begin to be a party with an answer, which is what people are looking for. And I can assure you that what we saw here in the United States, you will see elsewhere. For the first time in American history, for half a century, a man calling himself socialist, who talks against big business, who talks in favor of worker co-ops, got 13 million votes in this country from all kinds of communities that no one had ever expected to vote for, couldn't imagine, because here we are different from Europe. In the United States, socialism, communism, anarchism, terrorism are all the same for the mass of people. We thought that, but we were wrong, because a socialist stood up and said, no, I'm something else. And it turns out, particularly people younger than 35, he gets the majority. If the vote was only people 35 and younger, he'd be the president. So you'd have to now begin to build on what that tells us.